Reasons of adopting certain foreign policy. Guys, you know that the principles of foreign policy are usually remain constant, but the reasons for adopting certain policy on certain time change. So the reasons are dynamic, while principles are usually static. And each state adopts certain foreign policy because of certain reasons, right? So without reason, no foreign policy is designed. Each and every act in foreign policy is because of so many reasons. Today we will discuss reasons of adopting certain foreign policy, and our case study is Pakistan. That's why Pakistan adopted certain policy during different times. First is the period of searching new friends. That's from 1947 to 54. This period. In this period, Pakistan adopted certain foreign policy. Let's see the reasons for adopting such a policies. The first one is the newly independent state. Pakistan was newly independent in 1954, hence it had no recognitions globally, and Pakistan wants recognitions globally. So that's why in this period Pakistan was searching for new friends. Second was required trade links. In 1947, Pakistan had only trade link with India, and that was not sufficient to fulfill the requirements of our economy. Moreover, we were not having good political relations with India as well. So because of the bad political relations, our trade links were so disturbed with India. So that's why we were trying to establish different trade links during this period. And the third reason was gain international acceptance. The fourth reason was to protect borders. Third reason, guys, we had already discussed while discussing newly independent state point, and the protection of borders was also very important, because we were facing threat at both sides. From eastern side we were having threat from India, while on western side we were under threat from Afghanistan. So that's why our focus was to protect our borders, right? And the next was need of support on Kashmir issue. We were searching for support on Kashmir issue. That's why we were searching for new friends in this period. And the next period is the period of Pacts and Alliances. That's from 1954 to 1961, when Pakistan joined a number of pacts with USA, and especially Pakistan became a supporter and ally of capitalist war. In 1953, Pakistan had already signed mutual defense agreement with USA, and then in 1954 Pakistan joined SEATO, and then 55 CENTO. Why this all happens? Why Pakistan joined all these pacts? Although Pakistan had neutral policy since from 1947 to 54, but suddenly that neutral policy was abandoned. So the first reason for this was the threat from India and Afghanistan, right? Pakistan was facing threat from both India and Afghanistan, and for protecting herself from these two countries, Pakistan joined these pacts and alliances. Second reason was weak defense and economy. Our own defense was so weak, Pakistan's economy was so weak, so Pakistan needs assistance from Western countries. That's why Pakistan joined those pacts and alliances. And the fourth reason was to gain international support on Kashmir issue. And the next period from 1961 to 71, this period is called inclination towards USSR, because Pakistani policies were inclined towards USSR in this period. Let's see the reasons why Pakistan was inclined towards USSR. The first reason was Ayub's gesture towards USSR. After assuming power in 1958, Ayub proposed that if we can't make 3 friends in our neighborhood, why not we should make 2 friends in our neighborhood? That's Afghanistan and USSR, right? Since Pakistan was not in a position to make India her friend, so Pakistan decided to make Afghanistan and USSR friends, perhaps, right? And another reason might be the change in global politics as well, because after 1960s, the period of contentment was aimed, and the period of detonate start in global politics when USA and USSR themselves were coming close to each other. So Pakistan decided to get close towards USSR as well. And next was the need of friends in neighborhood, right? Because the friends in neighborhood are very important. Um, uh, because we have usually contacts with your neighbors. Neighbors are more important because of more contacts with them, direct influence on each other. So Pakistan decided to make friends in neighborhood first. And the third was to minimize threat from western border, because we could not minimize threat at our eastern border. So they decided that if we will incline towards USSR, Afghanistan was since a puppet state of USSR, so we will not have threat from western border. And again, next reason was again universal support on Kashmir issue. And another reason was that we didn't get any support from SEATO and CENTO during wars of 1965 and 1971. Perhaps our main reason for joining these two pacts, that's SEATO and CENTO, was to gain support during wars of 1961 and 71, but Pakistan didn't get any support from these two pacts, so they become useless for Pakistan. So Pakistan decided to incline towards USSR. Next is the period of bilateralism, when Pakistan was having relationship with USA on one hand, and on the other hand Pakistan was having close relationships with USSR as well. So the reasons for adopting the policy of bilateralism were, the first was no support from SEATO and CENTO, right? SEATO and CENTO, these were the defense pacts. Defense pacts, they were basically monitored by USA, and the purpose of these pacts was to contend communism, and Pakistan had joined these pacts to gain support during wars with India. But when they did get no support, so Pakistan decided to incline towards USSR as well. And the next was Bhutto's socialist policies. Bhutto was a socialist politician, and his party, Pakistan People's Party, it was a socialist party, and these policies also became cause of inclination towards USSR, because they had adopted so many policies which were so very much near to the system of USSR. For example, nationalization, that was very much near to the socialism or communism. These policies helped Pakistan to get close with USSR. And third reason was need of friends in neighborhood, because when Pakistan was away from USSR, politically speaking, right? Politically speaking, when Pakistan was away from USSR, this was not good for Pakistan, because USSR was in proximity to Pakistan, and Afghanistan is the neighbor. So they need friendships in neighborhood. And then minimize threat from western border, and expand trade links in communist bloc as well, so that we could export our products to communist bloc, and we could get so many resources from communist bloc. So this was the also reason. And the next was to maximize global support on Kashmir issue. Next is the Pakistan is frontline state in war against USSR, that's from 1979 to 1990. A bloodshed war was fought in Afghanistan between USA and USSR, and Pakistan became the frontline state in war against USSR, and Pakistan was the ally of USA in this war. Now let's see the reasons why Pakistan joined this war. First was threat of USSR's expansionism policy. Since USSR was following an expansionism policy, by capturing Afghanistan, perhaps their next target would be Pakistan, because they were their main target was the warm water, and so to get control on warm water, this was not impossible that they will invade Pakistan as well. So threat was felt from USSR, So Pakistan became frontline ally in war against terrorism, war against USSR. Next was the requirement of US aid, since Pakistan is a poor country and Pakistan always required US economic and defense assistance. So to get these US aid, Pakistan joined this war in favor of USA. Next was the global pressure, right? Different countries were continuously pressurizing Pakistan to join this war and act as a frontline state. This pressure also pushed Pakistan towards this war. Next was to gain US support on Kashmir issue, because US support is very important, right? Being the superpower, being the most powerful country in the world, its support is very important, and Pakistan was trying to get US support on Kashmir issue. That's why Pakistan joined. Next is the post-Cold War era. In 1990, when Cold War ended after the fall of USSR, Pakistan had to modify her foreign policy. The reasons for this modification were required new friends, because after 1990 Pak-USA relations were almost down and Pakistan required new friends. So that's why Pakistan adopts a peculiar foreign policy during this period. And next was to gain support on Kashmir issue. And the world had now become unipolar after fall of USSR, and Pakistan had to keep in her mind this fact as well. Next was to gain advantage from resources of Central Asian states. War against terrorism. This period started in 2001 after the incident of 9/11, which changed entire global politics, and Pakistan had to adopt a special type of foreign policy during this period. The reasons for adopting such a policy were: first was the global pressure. After 9/11, global community was pressurizing Pakistan to support USA in war against terrorism. Next was to thwart terrorism, because Pakistan was thinking that if we will participate in war against terrorism, we will be able to halt terrorism. And the next was need of defense and financial assistance, because Pakistan always required defense and financial assistance, and Pakistan thought that if we will become allies of USA in war against terrorism, we could get abundance of defense and financial assistance from them. And the next was to gain support on Kashmir issue. I hope guys you will enjoy this lecture. Please subscribe to this channel and put your suggestions.